Good afternoon. I'm Bill Cordero. I'm head of the Martin B. Smith School of Business and Economics. I know a lot of you have been here before. Welcome, if you haven't been. This is the second in three speaker series, we call them. We have these speaker series every semester. The third one and the last one for this semester will be May 2nd. Joe Schroeder, who is the head, who's the head of the Ventura County Credit Union, which is a large organization I didn't know too much about. Very committed to the university and to veteran this community, so it'll be very interesting, I think, to hear. As always, I start by thanking the Smith family, Martin B. Smith and Martha Smith, who donated to the university to make the school after Martin B. Smith, and their four surviving daughters who are very supportive of the university. We have speaking of supporting, another supporting group called the Business Advisory Council. Some of the members are here, and they help me and advise me in terms of programs for our students. And in fact, this speaker series came out of an idea of Paul Carter and Stacy Peterson. Stacy's here. Of getting people just like today, prominent people in the community that we feel that other community members and our students would like to listen to. So today, here's today's program. We have Jason Spievak, who is an entrepreneur. If you were here a month ago, we had Dave Power, also an entrepreneur. Dave retired, Australian older man at the end of his career, and Jason, a younger entrepreneur in the beginning and middle of his career. So Jason and I decided on this. I've asked him to speak about his current company, so you'll get some detail of what he's doing and how he got there. And then he's going to show you a series of slides. And then I'll come back up to the stage and we'll have a conversation, more personal and philosophical, if you will, about his background and about entrepreneurship as a concept. So, because I know many times when I meet students, people are very interested in starting their own business. So, I'm not going to do any more introduction than that. We'll let him tell you about the company, take about 15, 20 minutes. At the end, always, at the end of when he and I speak, then we'll have time to have questions from the audience. We'll put a microphone in the middle like we always do. So, without further ado, Jason.
Appreciate the chance to spend some time with you folks here today. I apologize, I pace all over the place, so maybe over here or there. Quick show of hands, how many people here are students? Great, so most. How many folks are business community members? Great. And how many folks are running their own business today? Good, so we got a couple of dozen entrepreneurs here as well. So I appreciate the chance to get together with you guys. I can give you a little bit of background on me, and I would love to share with you a little bit about what we're doing with our company in Boca. And I have a not-so-hidden agenda of also ideally recruiting from this community for our company. So a little bit of background on myself. As Bill mentioned, I'm the founder and CEO of Invoca Software. It is actually the fourth company I've had a chance to help Bill know. I'll tell you a little bit about that. Especially for you students in the room, I know this is what you're expecting. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be like this. So be ready. I like the fact that there's apparently a no laptop rule here. Because a lot of times you're talking with the crowd, you'll see the tops of about a third of people's head. So a little background on myself. No, I'm sorry. We'll get to that. A little bit of background quickly, and I know that Bill and I will be able to spend some additional time here. Grew up in Southern California, UCSB undergrad. Met my wife there in the dorms freshman year, so we've been together since 27 years since then. So I don't have to tell her what a badass I used to be back then when she was there. Went to UCSB undergrad, had a chance to move up to the Bay Area after that. Got involved in with some very modest beginnings. Actually, my first job was, I moved up there with no job, and my first job was selling umbrellas to tourists in Union Square in San Francisco for $6 an hour and $1 an umbrella. So yeah, you can climb up from that. I had a chance to join with some great people and build some great companies over the years. I'll take you through a little bit of that there, and then graduate school at Northwestern for an MBA there in the 90s, and then my wife and I moved to Santa Barbara in 2000, once we started having a family that sort of spun the globe, and that's where we wanted to be raising them. And we've had the opportunity to build two great companies in Santa Barbara since then. So before kind of diving into what Invoca is and what we do, and probably the more interesting part of that for you folks is what's the path that leads to something going from an idea at Starbucks to a company that employs 100 people and doing 20 million in revenue and all that good stuff. And we'll talk through some of that, because I think that's probably some of the learning that I think the students in the room mainly can appreciate, because you're sitting there. How many seniors? Okay, mostly seniors, of the students. You guys are graduating in a few months, the rest of you are graduating in a year and a half, right? You're sitting here thinking, what the heck am I going to do? Right? How do you go from point A to point B? There's no magic formula for it. There's nothing different about me than where you guys are sitting. In fact, simply the fact that you're here attending, by choice or otherwise, a conversation about building businesses puts you well ahead of where I was at this age. But I was not smart enough to be attending events like this within our community at the time. I was busy with my 12-ounce girls. So before diving into it too much, just so you're not sitting here thinking there's just some joker on the stage that's talking a good game but doesn't really have anything commercial to show for it. Our most recent company, Invoca, which we started about 4 years ago, this is our revenue growth over the last 3 years. You probably can't see it, it's in millions over there. And of course, if you roll that back about 4 more quarters, it started at 0, like everything else. So Invoca is actually the 4th company that I've had a chance to help build in my career so far. All have been in the communication software space, which I fell into pretty randomly, straight out of undergrad. The first was Nextel Communications, which we took public in '92. I was obviously very junior there, but had the opportunity to work with the senior executive team and learn a lot. We took Parallel Computing public in '96. I had a little bit more to do with that. We took Hallway public in 2004. That was a Santa Barbara company. I had a lot more to do with that. I had the opportunity to lead that growth process and that IPO from start to finish. And now Invoca, who knows? So let me give you a quick primer, and I'm going to go quickly through it. For those of you that are interested, you can ask questions. Right? We'll have a chance to talk through some of that. But for the majority of the people in the room that aren't that interested in the actual software itself, I'm going to go pretty quickly through it. But let me just take you through sort of what the business opportunity is. So there's a category of software out there called customer relationship management or marketing automation software. Companies that you've probably heard of, like Salesforce.com, and other companies like Marketo, Eloqua, which was just purchased by Oracle, ExactTarget, which was just purchased by Salesforce. In short, the way that the internet works is there are really billions of digital touch points out there every day, right? You think about clicks on banner ads, searches that you guys do, emails that you receive from businesses, right? There's literally billions of these digital touch points from businesses and consumers every single day. It would be impossible to manage that.